Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Wally Weasel, and here we are with a brief discussion video. I say brief even though I am just starting recording this and I'm not following a script. I'm not really even following any points, so apologies if I kind of pause. I'll try and delete such pauses, but I just want to talk about the situation revolving around the Xbox console. And I don't mean like there is like a dire situation, so don't like look into news or whatever. I mean, look into news obviously, but I just kind of want to have a conversation about this because it's an interesting situation. Because yeah, I don't know if you've been paying attention or not, but things have been going on in the background, and maybe people have been talking about this. I haven't seen too much of it. Maybe I'm just not searching in the right circles. Maybe I just want people to come to me. But yeah, so when you think about Xbox, you tend to think about their major exclusives, their exclusive series, your Halo, your Forza, your Gears of War, things of that nature. And then you also think about their major exclusives, your singular games, your Starfield, your Hellblade, your Avowed, your Microsoft Flight Simulator, things of that nature. The only thing about that is that every one of those exclusives that I named are on the PlayStation or they're coming to the PlayStation. In fact, even Halo. Yes, even Halo is coming to PlayStation in the form of Campaign Evolved, which I believe is a remake of their first game. So yeah, and I'm fairly certain if Halo Campaign Evolved, I keep wanting to say Combat Evolved, but if Halo Campaign Evolved does well enough on the PlayStation, I can foresee the Master Chief Collection coming out on the PlayStation as well. And that would basically be, access to a huge library of Halo games, and maybe we'll see more coming out, because we already saw after Forza 5 came out, there are already pre-orders for Forza 6. Forza 6 is in the just announced state, and I just looked that up because I wanted to make sure that, in fact, I wasn't going crazy, and that Forza was, in fact, on PlayStation. In case you don't know, Forza is a racing game, basically the Xbox equivalent or counter to Gran Turismo. And the fact that now they're announcing Forza 6, and then games like Indiana Jones, which when they came out, it was said, oh no, this game is just going to be on exclusive to Xbox and PC, obviously. It's not going anywhere else. Jump ahead a few months, and boom, Indiana Jones is on the PlayStation as well. So my big thing here is, what is the point of owning an Xbox? And I don't mean that as a PlayStation fanboy. I mean that in all sincerity. What is the point? Like, yes, I know that Xbox will still have their exclusives. And no, this isn't a celebratory thing here, because I'm not a fan of anything happening to a situation where, something goes downhill to a point where it becomes irrelevant, because as we all know, competition breeds creativity. My whole thing is, again, like, how do the Xbox players feel about this? Like, would they even consider buying a future console made by Microsoft, knowing that you can't even trust them when they say this game isn't going anywhere? Like, they could come out and say Elder Scrolls 6 isn't going anywhere, but on Xbox or PC. Would you believe that? Or would you just say, I'll just wait, because it's inevitably going to come out on the PlayStation? Because if it's not going to do well on the Xbox, which could be the case, especially if they're saying, things like that again, wouldn't it make sense that you just wait for it to come out on the PlayStation inevitably? So, and like, even again, Halo, their big pride and joy. You know, they're naming their AI program or AI assistant program Cortana after Halo. It's coming on PlayStation. So again, like, this is just a question out to Xbox players, or really anyone in general, I suppose, even, you know, PC players, PlayStation players, Nintendo players. What are your thoughts going forward on this? Because I know my thoughts as someone who doesn't own a Series X, but I do have an Xbox One. I'm kind of looking at it right now. It's not connected right now. It's just kind of sitting there by the big boy PS5, which, seriously, it is a big boy compared to the Xbox One. I'm not saying, like, you know, oh, PlayStation is better. No, I'm just saying it's a big boy compared to the Xbox One. And, you know, again, looking over, I'm seeing my Xbox 360. So I am someone who has followed in the Xbox line of things. So again, I'm not some PlayStation fanboy who's coming in here. It's just I kind of prefer, you know, playing as PlayStation. And I know, you know, PC people come in and be all like, blah, 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 but, you know, whatever. The thing I see Microsoft doing in the future is not coming out with a new console. Maybe, again, I know they've already announced something akin to it, like a PC console mix. But with everything going on, I don't think it's going to do too well outside of, you know, the hardcore Microsoft fans. Because, again, like, if they don't have the exclusives, then... So, my belief, at some point, because at this point... Well, okay, I'll just get to my belief. I'm jumping all over the place. This is, again, why I'm not... What happens when I don't go by points. My belief is that Microsoft, at least the Xbox division, you know, we'll just keep calling it Microsoft because it's easier than just continuously saying Xbox division or what have you, should just become a publisher. They have the companies that can do good, and it wouldn't be the first time that this has happened. You know, you look at your Atari, your Sega, your SNK, former console giants. Well, okay, giants in quotation marks with SNK. I'm sorry, SNK. No one was really playing the Neo Geo as much as, you know, the Super Nintendo or what have you, or even like the PlayStation. But they do some good games now. You know, Atari, Sega, and SNK, when they're focused on games, you know, that's kind of what they're doing. And I feel that, you know, Microsoft, Xbox, they could follow in the same lineup. And there would be no shame. There would be no shame. I don't know how the public was when Sega came out and said, we're not doing any more consoles after the Dreamcast. We're just going to focus on gaming. At first, I thought that Nintendo had bought out Sega because all of a sudden all these Sega games were coming out on Nintendo, but no, that wasn't the case. So, yeah, that was kind of my stupid self back then. But, yeah, like, that's what Microsoft could do, especially since the whole, you know, the company as a whole is kind of focusing in on AI. I don't know how much they would want to focus in on the gaming market. But again, that's just my thought. Because at this point, the only thing that Microsoft Xbox has that, you know, isn't on the PlayStation, aside from, you know, a few exclusives that still remain, you know, gotta keep those up, is the Xbox Live Arcade. And it would not surprise me if I went into the PlayStation Store one day and I saw the Xbox Live Arcade subscription service. And at that point, I would go, yep, it's over. The Xbox dream has died. Or it's just been put to rest. Or, you know, it's been kissed on the forehead and told sweet dreams. But, yeah. This video pretty much came about, actually about a week ago, when I saw that Starfield was on pre-order, and I had no idea about it because I was not following the news. I was not looking up Starfield. As soon as Starfield said that they were going exclusive, then I lost all interest. I was like, nope, there's no point in me following it because it's not a game that really interests me. But yeah, anyways, I saw it on the store and I was like, what the hell? It was like a sponsored thing. And, you know, because Bethesda is Bethesda, I clicked on it. and it took me to like product not found. So, you know, that's one final laugh, I guess, for one final laugh for Bethesda. But eventually, you know, I did find it. But yeah, but yeah, that's again just a short video, kind of bringing this out to the light. At least as far as I know, it's being brought out to the light. At least like this is something that I've been thinking about for a while. Something I've been really thinking about for the past week. Apologies that it came out in this manner, but I just had to get it out of my head. You know, it's just one of those situations that this whole video was just repeating itself inside my head over and over and over again, different script every time, and I just needed to get it out. So, yeah, thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you all next time. Obviously, leave your thoughts down below, and all that. Or actually, I think if you're watching this on like a tablet or the YouTube app, I don't know. Comments are on the right-hand side. You still got to click, but you can write your comments on the right-hand side. You click below, but I don't know. Okay, I'm rambling. Bye, everybody.